And good morning, people. Welcome back to Dark Chronicle, the Spheda episode, where I decide to hit either a blue or a red sphere into its opposite colour hole. Because why the heck not? I do get prizes for them after a while. I have a lot to go through, 12 of them to be exact, so I'm not going to waste any time, well, not waste any more of your time, and actually start straight away. I'll start with a pretty simple one, which is actually my first attempt at doing all these, so yeah, pretty simple, just a small bump to the side. Just like that. And the lie is very nice because I can just simply hit it straight into the hole again. So that one was a pretty easy win. So what was our reward? Well, actually something I'm going to use. Some treasure chest keys. 5 of them to be exact. I believe I've got up to 16 at this point. Yeah, 16. And by the time I get to the end of this episode, I will have used most of them, including a few other ones I found, so pretty nice. So let's move on to the next one, which strangely enough is also pretty simple. Another free shot needed. I do believe I use all 3 this time, but I have to go around a few corners, but that's fine. Another nice shot. And I do believe this allows me to just go in a diagonal shot here, which is actually very helpful. And give me probably one of the easiest shots available. So that's 2 done. This was 2 for 2, I believe. I hadn't missed one yet, but I do later. I miss a lot of one level later, which I'm not going to show because there's no point. You're only here for the rewards anyway. Speaking of which, we get a ruby for this one. So, coming in along nicely. So, next one. I believe this is another one which I had done in the first attempt. This one gives me 4 shots, and I believe I only take 3 because really it's a pretty easy shot just to go round. For some reason I just do a small bump here, which wasn't really necessary, but it was far enough that I could just only just far enough that I could hit it through this little corridor and get it lined up. Red and the hole is blue. So there's another one done. At this time I was feeling pretty good about things because it was going pretty smoothly, and well, that's always a good feeling when things are going right in Spheda, at least in this game. indestructible coin, so quite a nice reward for that one. So all items which have been pretty useful. Indestructible coin, probably the least useful. But on to the next one, where I believe this is my second attempt, because the first one went entirely bad because I got hit round the corner. I got stuck behind a post, which I had to bump out of. But 6 shots for this one, pretty easy really to deal with. Although I do my best to miss it at one point, I believe. Now I need a little bit of distance down the corridor. And so I think, right, where can I go from here? Well, the only real place, that was a bit too far right, so I had to go through this hole. Getting it through the hole wasn't hard. It was this power level, I believe. No? Okay. I'm sure this is one where I miss very horribly, actually. Yeah, there, I hit it just below, just before, and it bounces to a different colour, and I have to go through it again. So I have to redo it and hit it a bit harder. But it does go in the end. One of the things I have been doing, that I was doing during all this, was leveling weapons, because the monsters here give enough experience that I can get away with it. And level up powder. So Chronicle's weapons were sort of prevalent in this. I sort of worked on her swords a great deal, and I'm going to show a lot of them. The Dewsack here, plus level 5, I had already built one up into and synthesized it to this one, so I was able to make a claymore, which I am going to do now. So that's what that looks like. Looks like a very heavy sword, and it is. I believe you can only hit it with it 4 times. I then look at my Dewsack and think, can I do anything with that onto the claymore? And I believe I can't for a little while, so I just go, yeah, let's move on to the next one. Which is a very long level. 7 hits. I believe this is about my 4th or 5th attempt on this one. I was really getting a bit jaded with the Spheda at this point. And I thought, right, I need to take a break after this one. And that didn't help. I thought, but I had to at least try and finish it up. So I just pretty much hit it as I could, and that one, almost in the lava, really didn't help my hopes. So I believe I'll try a risky shot here, going through the hole there. No. I guess I don't in the end, but I really put serious thought into it, but yeah, at this point I have 4 shots. It's quite, I'm feeling a bit better because I've got a couple shots in reserve if I hit this one correctly. which luckily I do. All I need to do is just hit it into the room and hope it lands on red. Okay, why did I try to go through that little hole there a bit? There. But yeah, I got it to land on red, and I had a shot in reserve, which I didn't need. But yeah, I was really getting to a mental state that wasn't really helpful. For Spheda at least, because you really need to hit them correctly. And look at that little bar. Another indestructible coin for our reward there, so they're pretty prevalent at the moment. And again, I'm looking at my weapons. I believe my claymore, my second Dusak is level +5 now, and is already spectralized. If I go to it, yep, there it is. And I believe I look into it being synthesized into my claymore, not the Chronicle sword. But if you look at it, the gains I'm getting are not really that good. So I believe I don't do it at this time, because yeah, 110 is the max, 125 is the max on each of those. I'm not getting enough for the points I put into the claymore, so I don't do it just yet. I believe I level up the I synthesize the claymore itself. Yeah, because all I need is exorcism. So I work on, I get some exorcism stuff, put that onto it, and then I put the extra Dusak onto the weapon. So on we go. This one, 5 shots. This is where I came back after a break. I had missed this level, I believe 6 times, and I thought I need a break. So I went out, got a drink, came back, and because that's all you need sometimes. This first shot wasn't the best, so I thought I was sort of down for another set of disappointment. But I believe the rest of it went pretty smoothly. I've got 3 shots, so it needs to do something decent. And I believe I get it on this shot. No, on the next one. Although I'm not, I've got 2 shots for a same colour shot. I just need to make sure it bounces beforehand, that's all. Which is what I do. And that's the last level of the Mount Gundor area. And we get a sapphire. I do believe that's my first one. Indeed it is. Wonderful stately blue colour. Durable, flame, exorcism, and a lot of cyclone on it. So that's pretty nice. I guess I will eventually use my gems, but I don't need to worry about them too much just yet. And my Serpent Slicer is +5, but that's not necessary to worry about just yet. Because I don't believe I can build it up any. But I go out and go in just to make sure each level is complete. And so I systematically go through each one. There are still medals available if I want them. Mostly they're ones that I don't really want to do though, so like time limit, monster transformation, items. There you go, each of them are now done. What's left is the other 6 levels are all in the extra paths on each area. One in the Rainbow Butterfly Woods, one in Starlight Canyon, 2 in Ocean's Royal Cave, and 2 in Mount Gondor. So I go on to them. These areas where experience is very high, I work on my weapons a lot. And this is probably one of my favourite shots out of the whole lot, because over the pond, straight in the hole. I work on my weapons a heck of a lot in these areas. I don't even care if I miss the Spheda, because I get more time to upgrade my weapons. And I really get a lot out of it. But the reward for our Rainbow Butterfly Woods level are these, the final bomb. 3 of them. This is the best bomb that can be made, I do believe. And for some reason I've got bread. And because I can use it, I use 1. Or 2. And destroy the rest, because they're not amazing. But yeah, the final bombs. Bomb with a wide explosion range, difficult to make. They are actually, and I'm not sure that I use them at any point yet, so they might be useful later. But my Serpent Slicer is +5, my Claymore is +5. My Serpent Slicer I upgrade to a Tsukage, I'm guessing it is. I've probably butchered the pronunciation, but there you go. But that's the weapon, blessed by the power of moonlight. This is a very nice weapon, and you can build it up even more. Beast and Smash, Flaming Nail and Sleeper, which I've already beaten up. And I believe I put my extra Serpent Slicer onto it. Don't know for sure though, because I do a lot of strange things with all my weapons. I might even just build it up straight away, actually. Oh, now I remember. Yeah, I put some Hunt Crystals onto my Serpent Slicer, spectrumalize it, and then don't use them for some reason. I believe it's for the same reason as why I didn't do it with the Dusak on the Claymore. I believe it wasn't worth the extra stats everywhere else. Yeah, I'm getting some max stats there, so I'm wasting some of the points. So I don't do that, and I just build up the Tsukage on itself, because I need just Beast at 90, and Scale I need 1 more point. Come on, I can do it. There we go. Use up pretty much all my Hunter Crystals at this point, but I can always go and buy more, which I end up doing. So that's done, and the 1 scale, that's okay. So I'll put that on, and I can build that up when I get it to +5. And it's an Ama no Mukumo, so it's not a unique weapon. You can build up to it. We already knew that, but because I found that out earlier. But I'm going to have 2 at some point, which is actually quite helpful because I believe I used the second one to go into the first. This one that I'm building up later. But Claymore into Crosshinder. Built up the exorcism on that, and there is our Crosshinder. All I need is attack, smash, beast, exorcism and scale on it, and I believe I use my Dusak at this point because it's actually worth it. I'm going up to 129, 150, 150, 140 and 99 durability, so yeah, eventually I will put it on. I think I'm looking at numbers there just to see if it's worth it. And I do believe, yeah, I say, yeah, let's go, let's do it. I'm not getting much more out of it, so let's put it up there. So all I now need now is scale and 1 more attack. I believe I need 135 scale, so I've got a bit of work to do on it. And I've got my small sword there, which I'm working on at this point in time. So on to Starlight Canyon, where we have one of the worst attempts to get the ball into the hole in pretty much the entire thing. I have 3 attempts, and this should be a simple shot. And I do that. So I have to go through it again. And again, I hit it through the hole with a different, with it the same colour. I really messed this one up. I do believe I got it on this one because it's the last shot, and I'm only showing the actual wins. I almost messed that one up as well. I believe I had a couple of attempts at this one. The Rainbow Butterfly Woods one also had a couple of attempts, so I was still a bit out of it from all the attempts earlier on in the recording session. Some resurrection powder, which I don't have enough of, but my weapons didn't need any upgrading, so I just moved on to Ocean's Roar Cave. Eight shots, and I actually thank the water in this area for a lot of the success of this Spheda little thing. I believe this is my first attempt, so I don't stay here too long, luckily. The water, as it stops all the bounces from happening, really. Allows me to hit some pretty precise shots. Except maybe this one, because I really try something silly at this point. I believe I underhit this one in the end. well, I hit it, but I can't. It's not in range for me to just hit it straight down the corridor, which is sort of what I wanted. And I'm looking for a way to actually hit it over down the corridor itself, which is silly. I should have just bumped it round and just gone from there. In the end, I just go for a hit off this wall. Luckily, I got a bit lucky with that lie. I really thought it was going to hit and be on a place where I couldn't get to, and I would have had to waste a shot. But from this point, it's all pretty simple. All I need to do is make sure they're hitting the correct area. So this one was far enough that I could just make the diagonal across there and get a good shot into the hole. And luckily enough, it doesn't change colour when it bounced, when it just sat there. So one shot left. In we go. So things are going quite nicely at the moment. And we get more treasure chest keys, another 5 of them. I believe I was down to 11 at this point. Right, so yeah. Anyways, my Tsukage is now a +5, and I believe I've got it up enough to make it Amanos Murakumo, so I do that. So that's my second one. There are 2 options here. The bottom one is a weapon I'm getting from another one of my weapons. The top one is the one I'm actually going for, which will happen eventually. But I've got 2. This second one is going to be synthesized onto the first, because the first one, the one I've built up from that Serpent Slicer, is a lot better. My Chronicle sword is +3, that will eventually go up. But I still need a bit of work. I don't believe I work on that one as much as the other weapons in this set. And the small sword. I need a bit of beast for building that up. So I need to go and buy some hunter crystals, which I do between the parts. Between the Spheda. The second level in the Ocean's Roar Cave, though, is a lot simpler than the first one. I'm just trying to get at a good aim for going down the corridor. This one did enough that I could hit it straight through and get a good sight on the hole, but all I needed to happen was for it to turn blue. If that didn't happen, this hole was pretty much unavailable. But luckily, it did. And it was a simple tap in. I say tap, I hit it with almost full power. And I won at Spheda again. I believe I took about 3 attempts at this one, so yeah. Not everything was as smooth as you're seeing here. Another level up power drive. I believe that puts me to 20. So yeah, now I can't get any more of those. My Amano Murakumo is coming along quite nicely. I believe this is the second one. I'm actually working on the second one more than the first one, because I need that plus 5 for synthesizing. But the small sword is up and ready to be made into a man-eater. Which is an interesting looking sword. A sword that devours the souls of men. Why not? I believe the top one is the same weapon as what the Amano Murakumu goes into, and what I'm going for is the bottom one, which is more the natural build-up, I believe, for this weapon. So I've got some decent weapons here at the moment. The only one that's sort of lacking behind is in actual fact my Chronicle sword, because that's probably the weakest weapon of the 4 at the moment. But I believe I'll work on that a bit later. My Sigma Breaker's coming along nicely, but my guns and my brassards are behind, because they usually are at this point. But I'll get to them maybe before the end of the game. Last 2 levels though. First one in Mount Gundor. I believe I'm working on my guns at this point, so I don't really have much in the way of upgrades to show, which is a pretty helpful thing, so I can just get through these. But 9 shots for this one. This is quite a long way. And I'm not sure why. I'm not sure what exactly happened in this one actually. At the moment it all seems quite smooth, but yeah, and I go for getting through the corners on this bit. I believe this hits me exactly where I want to go. Pretty much there. Because there's a room down there and I can just hit it into it. I get a bit lucky there though. But I had plenty of shots in reserve, and I believe I get it in on this one. And there we go. So, had 9 shots, but that was because there were so many corners available. I only needed 5 to get it in. So, what's our wonderful reward for this one? Two mighty healing. Very nice items. All heal things is always very nice. But on to the last one. And this one's actually quite a far one to deal with as well, but I believe this goes pretty smoothly. 7 shots. The turkey is probably the reason why everything goes quite well for me, but the first shot was terrible actually. So it didn't go quite as smoothly as I hoped, and I believe I underhit this one. It got past the rock, but I was a bit afraid of what might happen again, so I just was a bit safer than I should have been. And I believe this is a diagonal shot straight through that works quite well for what I wanted right now. Because I was a bit worried about how many shots I had left. I've only got 3 shots now, and I still need it to go round another corner. I need this one to be lined up, so I can't really be too picky. And as you can see, it's not exactly the greatest shot in the world, so I have to really hope this one works. It's lined up, but it's a different colour, and I can't even see the hole, so I just hit and hope. And luckily enough, I get it in. So I breathe a sigh of relief that all the Spheda up until this the point where I'm at now is done. All of the 4 areas, well, all of the 5 areas are now complete. The only ones left are in the Moonflower Palace, which is where I'm heading off to for the next section of the game, so that's fine. Our reward for this one is a wealth coin, so pretty nice final reward. But that's all for now. Next time we will go into the Moonflower Palace and do stuff there. So until then, have a wonderful day, have lots of fun, goodbye.